Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Osmanagich. I'm in Sardinia in Italy. Beautiful evening, even though the day was rainy almost until a couple of hours back. I'm at a very intriguing place, and with me is our friend Marcello. Marcello, will you introduce yourself? Where do you live?
I live close to Olbia, between Olbia and Arzachena in Sardinia, but I was born in Genoa. I live here it's 11 years that I live in Sardinia, and I am interested to the archaeological places from 6 years ago.
Good. And tell me, what is this place here? Where are we right now?
We are in the oldest archaeological place in Sardinia. This is Monte D'Accoddi. It's the only ziggurat in Europe, and the datation of this place is around the first was 6,500 years ago, and the second structure, the cover of the first structure is 4,500 years ago.
4,500.
Yes, the second step.
Not BC, but 4,500.
No, BC.
BC.
Before
Christ. 4,500 before Christ. It is total 6,500.
Yes.
Okay, this is according to some references, some dating, archaeological work.
Yes, the official archaeology give this datation.
Official datation.
Yes.
All right. So, what else you can tell about this structure? Why you think it is ziggurat?
This is a base pyramid. For this is a ziggurat. And there is a legend that say that a king of Oriental people came here and fall in love with a local woman. They married together, but after some time she died, and he built this temple for her. And
A sign of love.
Yes, and the legend say that she transformed when she died, she transformed in the moon. So this temple is the only ziggurat dedicated to the moon. All the other in the world are to the sun.
Okay, wonderful.
And there is another also different lamp of this is in the reverse position respect to the other ziggurat.
Okay. Besides the structure, what else do we have? Right here.
A menhir, 4 meters, and there are 2 balls of stones.
And what is your explanation?
The explanation is the archaeologists say that is the sun represent the sun and the moon.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now let me say a few words. Thank you. Now, we are at the northwestern tip of Sardinia. This is the place very close to the town of Monte D'Accoddi, Porto Torres, and this is the Sassari province. Sardinia is a place with amazingly a lot stone structures from prehistorical times. It is shame how people know little about this beautiful island. Now, this site is actually like a play where the ancient builders wanted to show different shapes, different structures, different monumental and megalithic objects. Now, behind me, what we can see in the middle is the step pyramid structure. At this point, we have 4 steps. However, we know that ancients never built step pyramid with 4, 6, or 8 steps. They always built pyramids with odd number of steps. It is either 5 or 7, 11, 13, and so on. Now, when we look at the structure, it's very easy to notice that we have at least 2 distinctive builders. The first one, more superior, the one that did the original structure. We can see huge boulders, huge stones. And the second one, which obviously came later as probably tried to either repair or reconstruct. What is the time frame? It's very hard to say. But based on the megalithic stones that they've been used, and some of them are reaching 5 tons, I would say that the time window is 5 to 8,000 years, which is basically the last age of the megalithic builders in Europe. Now, let's see the size of this structure. According to official information, the base of the pyramid is 3750 by 30.5 meters. Now, this is obviously not square, but rectangular base. And then we have 4 steps. And if you want to calculate the mass, 30.5 times 37.5 times about 15 meters that are visible above the ground, we are getting an amount of about 19,000 tons. So almost 20,000 tons was needed to build this structure. However, we have to take into consideration that below me there are many more structures, the whole underground city, and most probably the size of the pyramid when looking from the ground was much bigger than what we see now. So probably 30 to 50,000 tons. It was really a monumental task. Once we add the huge causeway, the huge plateau that leads to the pyramid, which has a measurement of 49 meters and about 10 meters wide, then we can realize how big this construction feat was. Now, when it comes to ziggurats, we know that they have their origin back in Sumer. When building the ziggurats, they had 2 major construction shapes. One was spiral in fashion, spiral, getting very high. And the other one is using the straight lines. So we could step a very similar platform like this one here, and very often step structure like the one that we have in the back. So basically they were combining the ziggurat type structures and the pyramid type structures, in this particular case step pyramid. Now, a few words about the measurements today. Today is November 9th, 2019. We were doing measurements in the late afternoon. Weather was cloudy, visibility was good, temperature 18 degrees. It was windy, as you can probably hear. When it comes to the very important measurements of negative ions, the measurements show that we have between 800 and 1200 negative ions. The average is about 1000 negative ions per cubic centimeter. In the medical science, we know that negative ions are very beneficial to our health. Our homes, about 50 to 100. Our contaminated cities, about 200 negative ions per cubic centimeter, but more positive than negative, which is bad to us. And the places like mountains, about 1000. So this is something that we could expect. It's a very beautiful area. It's out at open. It's nature. And then 1000 is a very good number. When it comes to positive ions, it is about 400 in average, meaning many more negative than positive, meaning much more negative electrical charge in the atmosphere, which is able to raise the level of oxygen in our body. More oxygen, we are more active, and to remove viruses, bacteria from our body, and of course other microbes. So it is very beneficial to our health. So the values are good. They are not like in the Bosnian pyramid tunnels, 20,000, but 1000 is a very good value. Electromagnetic radiation, there are no bad electromagnetism, no EM smog, no technical radiation. Life energy measured by experimental life meter is showing that comparing to the regular natural places on a scale from 0 to 100, it is 10%. Here we had 40%. It's almost alive, like a physical being. So when doing measurement on the very top, it has shown excellent value, meaning that it was very good. It gives you a life energy, a prana, chi energy. So I would say a lot of ceremonies were held on the top. No poisonous gases, magnetic field, 41 to 45 nanotesla, which is something to be expected, nothing specially. Now ultrasound, 50% of the time, no signal, the rest of it is 19 to 21 kilohertz, meaning no some special spikes. Infrasound, 23 to 29 decibels, meaning it is not calm. On the contrary, again, it shows activity. So it was very active place. Orientation is about 15 degrees off, north, south, east, west, meaning probably it went either for the sun during the winter solstice or either for the lunar phases. So this place was having an astronomical orientation. So these are the major measurements for the pyramid. And now a few words about the other megaliths. Now we have very beautiful dolmen. It's a huge tabletop sitting on several support stones. Officially they call it altar. Altar always tends to have people thinking about places where they would sacrifice the enemy or something like that. I don't think so. What I can see, it's a typical tabletop, which was much bigger than the support stones. Support stones are usually vertical, tabletop horizontal. Most probably we had 3 support stones there. When it comes to the measurements was done at 3:30 p.m. Temperature 18 degrees, negative ions 500, positive ions 500. So it is not something that was health related going on there. On the top maybe, but not at the tabletop. Nuclear radiation. In the first case, radioactivity was 32 degrees, which is below the minimum allowed. But over there, near the tabletop, was only 16, meaning that the tabletop, the dolmen, would calm the atmosphere, it would calm all the bad radioactivity, including underground natural radioactivity. Electromagnetic radiation, EM smog, bad electromagnetism, 0. Life energy, 40%. The same thing like on the top of the pyramid. So it was a very lively place where people would love to come. They would love to charge themselves with the good energy. Magnetic field 45 to 52 nanotesla. It's a little bit more active, magnetically speaking, than the top of the pyramid, but still within the boundaries. The average range is anywhere from 20 to 70 nanotesla. This is exactly in the middle of this range. Ultrasound 9 to 18 decibels, or in kilohertz 19 to 21 kilohertz, something that you would expect almost anywhere on the planet. But there are some spikes showing that again, some special activities were done there. Infrasound, very active spot, 23 to 29 hertz. As far as the new energy vision camera, it is showing me very light energies. Present of very good energies, very positive energies. So nothing bad was going on there. Not a word about possible sacrificing of human or even animal life. The same thing on the very top of the pyramid. It is very light energy. Of course, we know that water and rocks, everything remembers, everything has the memory. So the memory shows no traces of some negative activities. Talking about this structure, for me, definitely, originally it was a dolmen, but after thousands of years and the soil layers and of course the weather, it's been covered by soil, probably a lot of vegetation, and even though it has been partially cleaned, I would say that the original size was much bigger than what we can see right now. Now, the mass of this dolmen is about 8.1 tons. So 8 tons. Somebody was able to move and to lift 8 tons, and usually you need technology for that. So again, we are talking definitely about the megalithic civilization. Now also we can see two stone balls. One is obviously oval ball. They are maybe related, maybe they are not related, hard to say. They have been moved from the original location. But talking about the big one, we can see some interesting features. First of all, the mass of the big one is 4 tons. It's not perfectly spherical, so we cannot call it a stone ball. It is more like the oval, but we can see really some of the oval stone objects in a countries even like Mexico or Bosnia or some other places. Now, when measured with the new energy vision camera, we could see a lot of red, which means an energy, but we can see dark red. So that can be dark energy. Some processes were probably going on there, and they don't have to be definitely positive. So I would say, unlike everything else in this complex, that is something that does not belong here, and some other processions were going on over there. And finally, behind me, we have one beautiful menhir, one megalith. Now the size of the menhir, it's almost 4.5 meters in height, close to 1 meter in width, and the depth about 0.9. Its mass is also about 8 tons. When it comes to a new energy vision camera, which is upgraded version of a PIP camera, again very, very light energies, meaning it belongs to this complex. So, in conclusion, I would say this is important place because it was like a school, somebody was showing what type of the megalithic structures from the ancient times people were able to make. And so it was like a field school maybe for some others who would come here, see what is shown here, see what kind of energies these structures can produce. So I would say the northwestern tip of Sardinia is the place where whoever is researching the ancient past, especially megalithic sites, the pyramid sites, the stone ball parts, the menhirs, dolmens, this is the place to come, this is the place to learn from, and I'm very happy to be here. So Dr. Sam Osmanagich, Sardinia, Italy, amazing place here.